sorry. Have a good afternoon, you guys. This list is going to be whittled down to 9. Okay, on Monday afternoon, the 4 party leaders are going to get together and look at all these bills and focus on sections 2 and 5 and decide which 9 would be most interesting to debate. Okay. Sorry, I didn't even check, but if there's 2 that are similar, they're probably going to compare them and decide which one would be better to debate so that we don't have like 2 debates on it. And what you guys are going to be doing next week is when you guys walk into class on Tuesday, you will get a copy of each of the 9 bills that we are going to debate the day of mock Senate. You're going to spend the rest of Tuesday and all of Thursday in party groups, okay? So we'll have the Democrats on this side, Republicans on this side. You're going to be going through the bills and talking about talking points on the bills. You are going to decide speakers, formal speakers on the bills, okay? Everybody writes a speech for mock Senate, okay? And you turn it into me. I grade it like a speech, you know, criteria. Only some of you are going to give a whole 2-minute speech the day of mock Senate, okay? And this is what it looks like. So we have our 2 chair people, one from 4th period and one from this class. We'll start the day and say, welcome everybody to mock Senate. You guys will do the Pledge of Allegiance. You'll sit down, Republicans will be on one side, Democrats will be on the other, and the 2 chair people will be in the front of the library. I'm just going to be sitting in the back, taking notes the whole time. Yeah. Okay, before you start wheeling and dealing, 2 reminders. You cannot tell one person you're going to vote for something and then turn around and tell somebody else that you're going to vote against that very same issue. So there's 2 things you need to track on your sheet. You need to track who you've agreed, what issues you've agreed to vote for. So what I'd start with is down here where the issues are listed, I would write your first 4. So I would say price supports for farmers. If I'm home immigration laws, I'm going to put an F4. Next to more money for boot stamps, I'm going to put an F4. Next to aid to mass transit, I'm going to put an A against. And next to tougher gun laws, I'm going to put A against. Okay, and then as you talk to people and make deals, when you've agreed on votes on these other issues, make sure you write down for yourself how you're voting. The other thing you write down is what people by name agreed to vote for you. Okay, so next to your 4 main issues, you should have people's names. Like Shannon, Maddie, Matt. Does that make sense? Yeah, you guys have 6 minutes to make deals before we go to a vote.
Did you guys choose? Yeah, no, they're doing their Okay, can we vote now? We have one vote. Just do one vote. It'll make it so much faster. Yeah.
So on your packet, we'll go through these due dates in just a minute, but let me show you what's in your packet that you have. Please don't lose this. Okay. The second page is how a bill becomes a law, which we'll talk about a little bit more later in this class. Then you have a sample and the outline of what your bill will look like. Okay, all of you will be writing a bill. Okay, 9 bills from between my 2 classes. Okay, from 2nd and 4th period will be debated the day of mock Senate. Okay, what happens is you guys write a draft of a bill. Okay, and the sample is the format is in here, and then there is a sample bill that begins at the bottom of the 5th page of this packet. It says the National Offshore Agriculture Act of 2009. That's a sample bill. Okay. And then on the back is more about what it means to represent a state, how you role play depending on your political perspective. okay, and some resources that might be useful to you in writing your bill and also researching your party and your person. Okay, so that's what's here. Please make sure you bring this on Thursday and Friday. We're working in the computer lab. Okay, so what will happen is you guys are going to be drafting legislation as a senator. Okay, so Matt T, what state are you from?
South Carolina.
Okay, so as a Republican, right, from South Carolina, okay, Matt's going to write a bill from a Republican perspective. Okay, for some bills, that's going to be more distinct from the Democratic perspective than other bills. Okay, and I will certainly be helping you with that. The law set package I gave you guys this morning, that we were just dealing with. On the second page, it says, bill becomes a law. Okay, order from 1 to 8, and I've given you number 8. Figure out the steps that it takes for a bill to become a law, and then steps 9 through 16. See what you can do. Do it in pencil if you're so worried about doing the wrong thing. You can certainly work in partners. It shouldn't take all day though. Be partners. More powerful because each senator represents more people, right? There's only 2 senators for every state. Okay, the senator also is the body in Congress that has the power of appointment. Yeah.
And are there often circumstances which, like, there's like a Democratic senator and a Republican senator from the same state?
Yeah.
So,
And quite a few people who I designated as swing people, they come from states like that. Okay, so Massachusetts has a Democratic and a Republican senators. Nevada has a Democrat and a Republican.
and then the one congressman is usually
Sometimes they're Democratic, sometimes they're Republican. Okay, but often the senators from the same state, or even the senators and the congressmen from the same state, do not work together on the same legislation.
Yeah.
Why not? If I'm designing a bill that I really want to pass, why would I not work with the person from my state on that bill?
You don't want it to be seen as something that's just beneficial to you.
Right. I need to pull in more people, right, to get those votes, around the House or Senate. Okay, and the bills that are going to be the most likely to pass are going to be bipartisan, right? So the McCain-Feingold bill that you guys read about in the Citizens United case, that was the 2003 Campaign Finance Reform Act. McCain's Republican, Feingold's a Democrat. Okay, they work together to make sure that, so they sort of take care of part of the process just in the initial writing of the bill. Okay, so that when it goes through committee, it's already kind of been hashed out, the two parties' perspective on the issue. Okay, if we look at this side of the sheet that has the chart on it, let's see how well we know this. How many members are in the House? 435. Good job. 435. How many members in the Senate?
For which one?
Ryan, you are a senator from the Philippines.
Yeah.
I have Perry ask the question. Cameron, you're a senator
Asking
from
all
the
the questions.
Philippines.
Stop. And they're supposed to say.
Explain how though.
Because our company will be making money.
Right. The U.S. companies trading in the Philippines, right, are going to be making a profit because they're selling their products.
And which we can't do here because we have a surplus of products here.
Very good. Very good. And so now that money is going to come back here, right, to pay for those products, and that money, those companies, U.S. companies are selling their products abroad, those companies are going to pay taxes that are going to fund the schools that you're talking about. Great.
But wouldn't it also take away funding from railroad schools and businesses because we have to put more funding into America's Army and Navy?
No.
Why not?
Because we just said that the money would all be made back if our economy was boosted.
What if we're unsuccessful in trading in the Philippines?
Then there's other resources and different ways to make our economy. Like we could send like in years.
So more imperialism.
Well, in other places.
But that's just two perspectives, right? We don't know what will happen. So you have a valid point that, perhaps it will cost more money to defend our interests than what we make from the trade. Her opinion is that the trade is going to be more profitable.
Also, like when we go to the Philippines, we're gonna like bring over like the railroad industry and all that stuff with us. So like our companies will be making money like building like growing crops and like building railroads there. So like we can use that money to go towards the Navy to like help protect us.
Wait, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay. Like, would imperialism also threaten the political system as well?
No, because
Whose political system? The Filipinos?
Yeah.
Do they even have a political system?
no, because that's part of the reason that we need to expand, because we need to because our self-governing here is good, and if we spread that to the Philippines, then they'll have U.S.
So Mason, you should be asking him a question. Okay, first of all, we're talking about policy in general. So you're trying to get him, the anti-imperialists, to see your side, which is that there are some justifications for us to get involved in other countries, Philippines and anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to pose a question that gets at their knowing what the anti-imperialists believe, that if we get involved in other countries, we're just going to have to commit, military and sacrifice American lives, and you want to explain why that's less important or less relevant, that we need to explore getting involved in other countries. Okay, if you're limited interventionist, so we only have like very specifically defined role in the Philippines, it's either trade or military, but it's not everything, it's not we impose our culture on them. Do you think that you and people who agree with your perspective would say that Filipinos should be granted basically like a dual citizenship, where they become citizens of this country? And Chase kind of led you with his bias by saying,
when we already have a immigration problem, right?
right.
So
that kind of suggests an answer.
No, because it's like like you said, we already have a problem, so there's no point of allowing more foreign aliens, you could say.
But they wouldn't be.
They wouldn't be, but like more foreign people to come over and enhance the increase of jobs being lost by our regular citizens in America. So I believe no, we should not. Brain hurt.
Okay, so for Kari,